Hi, I'm Peter Charles of Hooked Life Fly Fishing, and today we're going to look at the Airflo 40 Plus line. I have two with me. I have a 5-weight and a 9-weight, and we're going to put these on a single-handed rod and a couple of switch rods, and we're going to show you how they spey cast and overhead cast, discuss the versatility of the line, and you'll see how they'll work for your fishing. Okay, so let's get rigged up. Okay, I'm out here with the 5-weight Pro 4X rod and the 5-weight Airflo 40 Plus line. Now you'll notice this one's yellow, and that's because it's the newer super dry formulation. The older model was ivory. Both have an orange running line, which gives us a good visual indication of where we are to start our cast if we're going for distance. Now I'm just doing simple single spays here, and you can see how effective this is. Even with a limited amount of line out, I can still make a good cast. The front taper on these lines are very long, so they have beautiful presentation for a dry fly at short range. That long front taper also works great for us when we're spey casting, as I'm doing right now. Just going to let a little bit of line out. Boom. Now we can also go overhead, no problems. This is the great versatility of this line. It's a great spey casting line, it's a great distance line, it's a great presentation line. What that means for us is I can do a number of things with this line and this rod. I don't have to change the line. I don't have to move to a different line weight to cast for distance. I don't have to change when I want to spey cast. I don't have to do any of those things. I can do everything with the same line. That's what makes it so effective. Now the beauty of the 40 Plus taper is that it takes the weight of a 55-foot distance taper line and compresses it, and what that does for us, it gives us the weight for distance casting without the length. It compresses things rather nicely for us. That compressed head packs a lot of mass into a short package, and it loads the rod quickly. We don't have to do dozens of false casts to get a useful cast out of this thing. There we go, boom. Now when we're stripping the streamer back in, of course we're bringing a lot of the line back into the guides. So instead of doing a lot of false casting, I can make a single spey, and then boom, out we go. And you're not limited to just single spays. I can do a circle spey, or any of the other casts. Now I'm using a floater today because it's nice and visible, but normally for streamers I'd be using an intermediate. You know, I've caught more fish on an Airflo 40 Plus intermediate than any other line or model of line. It's just amazing the number of fish I've picked up over the years using the intermediate version. So if you're going to do a lot of fishing with streamers, I would certainly consider that line to be paramount for your fishing. Okay, I'm out here with a 10.5-foot 5-weight switch rod, and I have the 5-weight 40 Plus on it. That's a little unusual. Most of the time when we're using a switch rod, we want to go up 2 line weights. So typically I'd be using a 7-weight on this rod, not a 5. But I'm using the 5 because I'm mostly going to be casting with one hand overhead. So as you can see, this overhead casts with one hand beautifully. I mean, if you're looking for distance with a 5-weight line and a 5-weight switch rod, I mean, you've got all you need here. This will go quite far. I don't need to cast far in this river, so I'm not putting out a lot of line. But one-handed casting with this thing is just a dream. And if I had to go 2 hands for any reason, no problem. Way it goes. So, when you're outfitting your switch rod, give some thought to your purpose. If you're mostly spey casting and you're throwing larger flies, you want to go up 2 line sizes. In other words, if I was out with some big flies, chasing bass, casting a long way, I would definitely use a 7-weight 40 plus on this rod. But if I was, like I'm here right now, I'm overhead casting, occasionally spey casting for small trout with a light fly, then the 5-weight is fine. Especially if I'm going with single hand overhead like I'm doing right now. Okay, I am now out here with the 9-weight 40 plus on a 7-weight 11-foot switch rod. This is a steelhead rig, and I'd use it for larger flies, distance casting, primarily 2-hand spey casting, like I'm doing right now. Loads the rod well. 2-hand overhead would be pretty good with this combination as well. This is the generic all-around type of setup, going 2 line weights over. So 11-foot 7-weight switch rod and the 9-weight 40 plus. If you want to go overhead with the 40 plus and use 2 hands, and you're using the overweight setup like I am right now, just take it easy. Just let the weight work for you. Away it goes. You can really cover water with this setup. Great steelhead setup on a switch rod. Works wonderfully. Okay, there you have it. The Airflo 40 Plus line. Spey cast, overhead cast, single hand rod, switch rod, doesn't matter. It'll perform for you. Depending on your type of fishing, it's available in floaters and full sinkers and intermediates, and it'll present a wide range of flies under a wide range of conditions, both short and long, cast for distance or cast close for presentation. So if you're looking for a versatile line, consider the 40 Plus.